still friends with the Power Rangers?
That's a great question. Yes, I am. And in fact, I was texting a couple of them the other day. Yeah, thanks for asking. Shh, we gotta keep that a secret, though. We don't want anybody to know that I'm a Power Ranger.
Now, we have a question from a young lady here in the middle. I'm going to pass the microphone to.
Hi, big fan, by the way. It's like two quick questions. You've done a voice in a game that's really kind of quite emotionally touching called Fragile Dreams, Verbal Ruins of the Moon.
Super depressing, yes.
I know, but I actually love that. I was just wondering, like, how you felt working in that game, and like whether you're still in touch with any of the developers, anything new about that, or.
Well, that one, I remember going through that one and just feeling just so like wrapped up in the story and in that character and feeling kind of, it was very moving, and it was somewhat depressing throughout. One of the stories that I heard was, I believe it was the creator of that in Japan was a very depressed person and created that game, eventually committed suicide. That was what I was told before working on it. And so I had that on me the whole time where I was like, this is really dark, And so emotionally, I was a little messed up working on that, but I think it kind of in some way helped me portray that character. And yeah, it's very sad. It was very sad for me going through that game, actually.
And like, just a second question. There's like a rumor that there's a season 3 of Code Geass. I don't know if it's been announced or not, but are you in it? Or do you know anything about that?
I don't know about that. Next question.
We're moving on to this question. Yes.
Do you miss being a Power Ranger? Or do you miss doing what you did? And did you ever hurt yourself as well?
Did I ever hurt myself? Oh yeah, I hurt myself all the time. I don't know that I miss it. I did have fun though. It was a lot of fun. I definitely don't miss the spandex. Liar, someone said liar.
Alright, I wear it every night.
So what's up? It was fun. I had a lot of fun, but there was a lot of trials and a lot of things that I went through during that as well. I think all of us really. But I do look back on it with fond memories. Did I ever get hurt? Yeah, tons of times I got hurt. And sometimes it wasn't my fault. I'm going to tell a story. All right, so me and Jason Frank, we're working on the first movie in Australia, and there's this palm tree, and we're doing backflips off the tree. If Jason Frank comes here and tells this story, he's lying. So we're running and we're flipping off this tree. We're doing backflips. He'll run, and his style was like he would take 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, and hit backflip, right? And I'd be there to spot him just in case. Didn't need it, he'd backflip, and then I'd go over and I would run like a frog. I would bounce off the ground, I'd bounce off the tree, backflip, he'd be there to spot me. So we're doing this for a long time, just flipping off of this tree, just having a good old time, right? And I'm standing here ready to spot him as he's running towards me, and as he's running towards me, he says, "I'm just gonna keep on going." And I was like, I don't know what that means. As I'm standing here, I'm like, what does that mean? I was like, oh, well, maybe he's having such a good time. He just wants to keep on going. Okay, yeah. So anyways, he runs, and I count off 1, 2, and he's made the 3rd step. 4, 5, and that's what he meant. He's gonna keep going up the tree like he's an actual Power Ranger that can do that, and then flip. And so he goes up the tree 5.5 steps. Now he's coming down towards me head first. And I've got to decide whether to attempt to catch him, a full-grown man, or do what anyone else would do. This is exactly what I did. And so he fell down, he popped back up, he's like, whew. And I was like, you all right? He's like, yeah. Like, well, your face isn't, because you got to cut right here. And then anyways, we got in big trouble. And he's always like, you're supposed to spot me. And I was like, you went 5.5 steps. It's your fault. So he blames me for that. But there's no way. Like, think about it, guys. If he's falling head first down towards me, okay? How am I going to catch him? Now we've got, our faces in each other's crotches. It's just a bad situation all around. So there's just no way. I'll tell you real quick how he got back at me. So we're in the van and we're driving across this desert to go to our next location. And this lady is driving us. Me and Jason are in the back seat. The girls are in the back. The windows are open. I'm doing that thing where you could grab the wind. It's like, Putin. And then I do this or whatever, right? Going 50 miles an hour in this van. And then I was dumb. Well, I still am, but I said this out loud. I was like, it'd be kind of cool if I climbed out this moving vehicle, got on the roof, and rode it like Teen Wolf, and then got back in on the other side. Which is stupid to begin with. And Jason was like, you won't do it. I was like, dude, I will get out of this car right now and get on the roof, ride it like Teen Wolf, and get on the other side. And he's like, nah, you're chicken. And like an idiot, I climbed out this moving vehicle, and then I got onto the roof. This lady kept driving 50 miles an hour. And inside the car, you could do that thing where you're like, yay, it's fast. But on the roof, it was just, yeah, right? You can't see anything. And at that moment, I realized I could die. And then so I'm like, well, at least I should finish this thing that I put myself into and get it on the other side. And so as I start to go over, the car starts swerving. The van is swerving 50 miles an hour. My feet are kicking out side by side, and I'm hanging on for dear life. I'm like, she's trying to kill me. So I pull myself up so I can scream at her from the windshield, and I see her like this, frightened because Jason Frank reached past her, is like pulling at the wheel, trying to throw me from this vehicle. And I'm like, he's trying to kill me for real. It's that tree flip. And so anyway, so I pull myself over to get into this window, and there he is rolling it up. Finally, she reaches back and starts hitting him, and he rolls it down, and then I climb in. Never stopped. She just kept going 50 miles an hour. But that's how Jason Frank got back at me for the tree flip thing. He actually tried to kill me. You should ask him about that when he comes out there.
We're up right in the back here.
Hi, huge fan. I was just wondering how you made the jump from doing mainly live action things like Power Rangers into doing mainly voice acting.
This is a total fluke. I was working on an action film with the stunt team from with the Japanese stunt team, Alpha Stunts. They wanted to do a film, and they had a Japanese camera, but the sound crew and their equipment was not Japanese, so somehow it didn't work. And so I had to go in at the end once it was all edited, because there's no sound, and I had to dub myself over the entire film. And as I was dubbing myself, the producer walked in and heard my voice and said, hey, you got a good hero voice. And I was like, cool, I'm playing a hero, so. And he's like, no, I want you to come audition for this anime. So I went to this audition, and auditioned. 2 weeks later, I booked Vash and Trigon. So it was a total fluke, it really was. Like, if the sound was perfect in that film, I don't think I'd be talking about voiceover at all. Do you want to become a voice actor? No? No, okay. You were just curious. Okay.
I have a question from the person here.
Capcom has a rumor there's going to be another Devil May Cry 5 game. How true is that?
And moving on. And it's time for our final question from this person here.
Hi, my question is, as far as I'm aware, when most Power Rangers finish doing Power Rangers, their careers basically just finish, and it's just over with. So, I was wondering...
That's depressing.
So I was wondering, were you worried about the same thing happening to you, that you would be labelled as a Power Ranger forever? And
Yeah, there was a time towards the end there when we were all on the show and leaving that I thought, or before leaving, that all of us were talking about it. Like, or is this like, am I going to be thought of like as Gilligan or something? Is this always going to be what I'm remembered as? I think we all thought that, you know, and I remember going into the producers and talking about it and asking, is there other stuff that I can do? And he said, oh, big plans, we have big plans. And then, of course, as soon as you're gone, they don't talk to you or return calls. But yeah, certainly there's that moment of wondering what I was going to do. And even after that, I didn't have things set up, you know. And I did go through a depression. There's like 2 years. I was lucky to get the role to begin with. Because at that time, afterwards, I tried to go out for auditions, but anytime I walked into an audition, my agent would send me in for like Chinese guy, you know, or whatever. And so I'd walk in, and this is what I look like half Asian. So if you have some Chinese guy walk in there, hello, and gets, dude, that guy's got the part, you know? And so if I walk in, you know, and then there's like, it's a Caucasian role, which is occasionally Caucasian I got sent on, and this guy who's blonde, much more Caucasian than me, would get the role, for sure. And so that just happened, and so I went through depression, and I couldn't get a job to save my life. I was virtually homeless. I had like 2 trash bags, a guitar, a broken cot, and I was like, hey, can I stay at your place for a couple weeks? Hey, can I stay over here? And I was basically living place to place trying to figure out what I was going to do. And that's the moment I taught myself to play the guitar. I started the band iShine, and brought me out of that funk. And then eventually the stunt guys started to do that stunt film, and then I fell into voiceover. So, there's definitely, I mean, for me, that was the scariest moment for me, because I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do anymore, you know? But thank you guys all for coming. I didn't want to leave on a weird note like that.
We'll have one more question.
Or I could just tell a random story real quick. How about that? Okay, so, here, I'll tell you this one. Okay, so I'm working on a show called Wolf's Ring. It's a great show. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. The music in it is amazing, and I do an alright job. But it is good, not because of me, but it's a really cool show. But anyway, so I'm working on the show. I try to get, usually when I go in for a role, I try to get in there kind of early so that I can go through the script. In voiceover, a lot of times you don't get your script ahead of time. You go in and it's a cold read. So basically you go in, the script is there, and then you basically start reading. And you just have to perform. So I like to try to cheat a little bit and get in early, 15 minutes, or kind of go through the script and pick the director's brain and try to figure out some things. Anyways, this one day I was running late. I skipped breakfast. I got in there and we started working. And it came like, about like an hour in, my stomach starts to get that, you know, that growly emptiness, you know. So my stomach's about to start growling. And I'm in front of this $3,000 microphone. It's going to pick up every sound. I feel like, you know that moment when you're in school and there's a quiz and it's super quiet and you know your stomach's going to growl and you're like, and you start shuffling papers and trying to make noises to cover it up. I couldn't do that. And so instead, I had this water, and I would gulp this water down to shut it up, right? And it would work. So as soon as I felt like this growl about to happen, I'd gulp some water down. And in my mind, it's like growling monster, I'm going to growl. And I pour water on his head, and he's like, whoa. So I just kept doing that, you know, and it was working for a while, you know. I was like, oh, I feel it, drink, yeah, it's gone, okay? So it was working. And this one moment, out of nowhere, my stomach didn't give me any warning, and it just growled. And it wasn't like a growl like, we're gonna be like, oh, my stomach growled. No, instead, it went, so it sounded like I tried to squeeze out a silent fart, but my butt cheeks were like, nope. And I saw their heads turn and looked right through the glass window, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna work in this town again. It's like my 3rd voiceover ever, and I look and they're like, and I'm like, no, that was my stomach. And I know it sounded like a fart, but it was my stomach. And they're like, I was like, no, come on in here. You can come and smell it. So to this day, they think I just farted in the booth. But anyways, thank you so much for being here.
As well, so if you wish to go over and get a picture and stuff, then feel free to wander over and say hello as well. So please,